This is the luggage rack on the front of my Squaredrop camper, and I'm going to build a custom e-bike carrier for my electric e-bike XP 3.0. First, using a straight 2x4, I will cut a piece that is exactly 60 inches long. This will be the base for my e-bike carrier. So why 60 inches? Well, I needed to measure the wheelbase of the e-bike to make certain that once I had it up on the base, it didn't go off one end or the other. So it had to be long enough to accommodate both tires when both tires are on the base. That's basically the reason for it. And so it's got a little bit of hangover on each end, but you'll see how that's going to play out as we progress through this project. In this step, I've lined up the base, clamped it down onto the cargo carrier, and I'm going to mark holes and drill through the wood on each end and put a couple of flush mounted bolts down through the wood and into the metal cargo carrier to hold it in place. And that should be sufficient. All right, in this step you can see that I have drilled 2 1/4-inch holes, and I've done it on each end through the wood and in through the cargo carrier. And I've countersunk with 3/4-inch paddle bit. And I'm going to put 3-inch bolts with washers and lock nuts to secure the base to the cargo carrier. That should be good enough. And here is a view of the underside, so you just kind of get an idea of what it looks like up underneath as well. All right, in this section you can see that I'm using roofing tins. You could use L brackets or other methods to do this. But what I did is I bent my roofing tins at a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to mount them along the edge of the wood to the top rail of the cargo carrier. And that will keep the wood from buckling in the center. That's probably a little bit of overkill, and I probably don't even have to do this step, but I just decided to do it. You don't have to do it, obviously, but it was just a jerry-rig kind of an idea that I had, and it has actually worked out just fantastically. So this is just another view of me just installing those roofing tins, using them as L brackets basically. In order to keep the tires of the e-bike on the base or the platform that it's going to be sitting on and tied down to the Squaredrop camper, I need to put some aluminum L channel. Bought a couple of pieces of aluminum L channel, and I cut them to size, and I'm going to mount them onto the wood on each end where the tires will be located. Now this aluminum L channel is not cheap, so I kind of skimped a little bit. You could make the channel go all the way down the full length, the 60 inches or however long your base is, in order to make certain that your e-bike doesn't come off the platform or the base and fall off. So anyway, this is the way I'm doing it, and I'm going to drill through and screw the L channel down to the wood, and that will be the kind of a guide to keep the e-bike tires in position and help it to stay on the base when I tie it down and am traveling from one location to another. Jumping ahead to the finished product, you can see that I've cut the L channel into 4 equal pieces. I drilled holes in them and countersunk them just a bit so that the conical screws would fit flush down into them. And then I got some metal strapping, as you see there, and mounted it to the front of the base to keep the front wheel of the e-bike from going off the edge. I painted it all black. I got some C-channel and mounted it to the frame of the trailer. And from there, I put some carabiners at the top and some pipe insulation to keep the e-bike from getting scratched up. It's kind of jerry-rigged, but it works fantastically. It keeps the e-bike upright and in place. Here we have a 2x4, and I got some metal strapping and screwed it down equally so that it would fit onto the platform. It's the ramp, basically, that the e-bike will roll up on. I have a garden staple that I use to hold the strapping down onto the base. As you'll be able to see here, a couple of drilled holes, and the garden staple slides down through those holes. In a moment, you'll see how I mount the ramp onto the base using that garden staple. And here we go. We're just going to lay the ramp with the straps down on top of the L channels. And I've got holes in those straps that are lined up with the holes that I drilled. Put the garden staple through it, press it down, and it is a secure ramp. And I made the ramp long enough so that it's not a really steep angle to push the e-bike up, but it holds in position, works very well. It's somewhat flexible, so if the ground's uneven, it'll move a little bit for you. It's a tight fit, but it works fantastic. I'm very happy with it. Hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Have a great day, and thanks for looking.